In recent months, I've been thinking a lot about having a child. Something you'll often hear from others, typically those not interested in having children of their own, in my experience anyway, is raising a child is an inherently hopeful act. They often say it as if to sound positive about something they clearly don't believe to be positive, and typically there's always a tinge of mocking hidden along its edges, like sarcastically saying, "You'll be in my prayers," to someone when everyone in the room knows you don't believe in God. That said, creating a D&D character backstory is an inherently hopeful act. For tabletop role-playing games in general, but especially Dungeons & Dragons, creating characters is its own cottage industry. You can go and watch hundreds of videos on whether it's good to let your players create backstories for their characters or not, if you should let them play whatever they'd like or stick to your pre-written world's requirements. Some folks almost never play D&D at a table, but find themselves playing it primarily in their mind, where they craft intricate character after intricate character, the original OC generator before the term OC ever even existed. At its core, the drive and desire to craft a lengthy, intricate backstory for your character is built on a dream, paths you see your character traveling in the future, and secondarily perhaps what that means as well for you, your friends, and your social life. Even your life in general beyond the confines of the game. A 10-page backstory says, "I want the rest of the story to be far longer than this." It says, "I am dreaming in directions I may never tread." It's aspirational, in a self-directed sense. At the opposite end of this experience is the randomly rolled character, the "I'm here for a good time, not a long time" of playable characters. Some players reach the point of randomly rolling characters early on, fitting an already established aspect of their personality perhaps, but others only get there after years of failed campaigns. You know it's unlikely this group will ever meet more than 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 if you're lucky, and 2 of those will be almost all combat anyway. Maybe 1 or 2 levels are in your character's future if they don't die, and even then their only true future is a life of obscurity among the scrap paper and old notes gathering dust on your shelf. On the impossibly small chance you are wrong, then you know you'll come to love this character as your own. You love role-playing games after all, despite all the disappointments over the years. You'd gladly rescue this randomly rolled little guy and take him up as one of your true characters. Fill in the blanks over time, but of course that probably won't happen. So let's not put the cart before the horse. I used to be that first type of player, the elaborate backstory, the interweaving of my DM's in-universe factions lore with my own background and premise for entering the story, a Yggdrasil-like multi-branching quantum tree of all the things my character could and will one day become when we inevitably reach max level and fist fight God. Now I'm the second type of player. Roll dice and see what I get. I'll figure out the rest as I go if I need to, and I figure I probably won't need to. Just another time around the wheel. Once and only once I got the closest I'd ever get to the dream campaign, levels 1 to 14 or so across 3 years with the same core group. Pretty much everything else has been mini-campaigns, one-shots, and nothing but daydreams and discarded character sheets. So now I find myself wavering back and forth between truly meaning what I said earlier or saying it with that mocking grin. In our world, I've had a decade of endless unknowns and absurdities to horseshoe me entirely around from, "Of course I want children," to, maybe later," to, "Well, I don't know." And now I find myself all the way back to, "Of course. What else can I do in the face of so much hate but bring new love into the world?" But still, I have my down days, my better-than-the-rest moods, my jaded adult brain that also feels like it's silly to think so highly of such a basic aspect of life, of such a little thing against the backdrop of an uncaring universe. But I also find myself captivated by even littler things every day. I always want to play that next game. So believe me, or don't, when I say, creating a D&D character backstory is an inherently hopeful act.